Hello, welcome to my first video game review. Recently, Smash Bros. Came out, but even though I'm a big fan of that, I haven't finished playing enough to know that game extremely well enough to review it, and frankly, this one game's been on my mind for a while, so Icarus Uprising. In probably one of the, in my opinion, the greatest shooter of all time. The main reason I'm good at this game and I'm bad at most shooters. So, well, let's start with the story. For one, it begins with the evil Medusa rising up to destroying the world after the first game, where our hero, Pit, has defeated her to save his goddess, Lady Palutena, the goddess of light. Of course, the question is, how has Medusa risen from the dead? This is answered later, but I'm probably not going to get to that, seeing as that's probably one of the least spoiled secrets on YouTube. In any case, it just goes with battling in the Medusa's commanders, and then a new goddess, Viridi, the goddess of nature, comes in, and you end up battling her commanders to make it pretty simple. And then, what better to put into a game about Greek gods than aliens? The Arum, basically a bunch of big platoon of robots bent on, I guess, harvesting in their world's natural resources or whatever to do whatever the Arum do. I don't think that was explained. And of course, you gotta fight Miss Medusa herself. You collect the three great sacred treasures, which is the light arrows, the Pegasus wings, and the mirror shield. Though you collect them all at once in one level, unlike in the original where you collect them from three different characters, three different commanders. In any case, the story is actually pretty intense. There's some really interesting plot twists, and it's quite good. It's a simple story, but there's not really anything wrong with it. There's no real glaring factors. It's got its good high points, so it'll keep you captivated. One thing I would enjoy having more of was the human character Mangus, to get more of an explanation of his character. But here's hoping that Kid Icarus will get a sequel, and that Mangus will be very important in that. Next up, let's go with the gameplay. Actually, graphics, which are quite beautiful. Frankly, the graphics are, not much you can say about other than it's really good. It's basically on par with the Super Mario 3D Land, except more depth. I'm not good at explaining graphics, so you'll just have to go with the fact that it's good. Really good. Although the 3D slider really doesn't help that much, or hinder. Actually, it doesn't just doesn't help, it hinders. Which brings me to gameplay, which I was going to do. In any case, gameplay. This is where Kid Icarus has gotten its most of its complaints, which I disagree with. The game, while you will get some mistakes here and there, it's pretty solid. The way it works is you fire with the L button, move with the circle pad, and you move the camera and aim with the stylus on the touchscreen. While it does seem complicated, despite its very few controls, once you get used to it, it's actually pretty enjoyable. Well, it allows for a lot faster pacing than your average twin-stick shooter, or even faster than Advanced Warfare, which, as I've only played once, I know it's quite fast. And then there's the dash mechanics, which if you just quickly flick the circle pad in one direction, you'll dash that way. But of course, as with all games, if you just gradually do it, you'll go slowly. Simple enough, although I've seen people having problems with that. So yeah. The game comes with a stand, I think, now. It might not come with it now, but it did when it first came out. And I think I only used the stand once, frankly. While it might be useful for some people, frankly, it's just easier for me to hold it with my left hand while using the circle pad and L trigger, and then just using the stylus regularly. So then, the really only real problems with the control scheme once you get used to it is that occasionally you'll find yourself trying to run away from a person, but because of the built-in dodge mechanic, which is useful normally, you'll end up accidentally doing a dodge instead of straight up running away, and you'll end up getting hit. Beyond that, I'd say the controls are quite solid, in my opinion. And then, what else is there to talk about this game? The levels, sure. While they are quite linear, it does give you more freedom than some other linear games, and you get, and the replay value is very much there with intensity gates. Oh yeah, I should have explained the intensity first. Okay, so the intensity is basically just donating money, I guess, so you can increase the difficulty, or if you're really bad at the game, decrease the difficulty to a certain point. Yeah. And these intensity gates that I mentioned will only open if you go into the level at a certain intensity level. The scale is from 0 to 9 with each with decimal places. So yes, obviously this was taken over into the Smash Bros. Game because it was so good. Yeah, the weapons. That's where it's really, really big. There's so many weapons. 9 different types. 9. Bows, claws, staffs, blades. Bows, claws, staffs, blades, arms, clubs, palms. I'm not going to bother remembering the other 2 because of those I forget a lot. I'm not a professional reviewer, if you haven't guessed. So yeah, there is a lot of different things you can do with the weapons. You can fuse them to create new weapons. Each weapon has its own power level, all sorts of stats like speed boosts, poison, fire. I think even stone is is a possibility. Yeah. But where this game really shines above most other games is its multiplayer. It's got 2 modes of multiplayer, and then of course the online and offline, local. you see there's light versus dark, which 2 teams of 3, you try to knock out the other team's life gauge by killing them. But the interesting part that makes this balanced, as there's different strengths the weapons can have, is the fact that the higher the strength, the stronger your weapon, the more damage you'll do to your life gauge when you die. So that is a risk reward thing, which is implemented well. And then if you're the last person to die, you'll spawn as an angel, which is much more powerful than the rest of the grunts, and has a different weapon than what you started with for some reason. And this is a really good mode. The balancing is done really well, but the balancing kind of gets thrown out the window with free-for-all. You can't really balance that, but still, well, yes. Other than that small issue and your occasional internet glitch, it's really good. And then the best part probably is the music. It's got such a great soundtrack, as a lot of games from Nintendo and Sega. A lot of games have good soundtracks, and this is no exception. In particularly, the general favorite, I believe, is Dark Pit's theme. Yeah, it's really awesome. It's a really good game. Actually watch that. I hope you enjoyed this and whatever other videos you may want to watch from mine. Goodbye.